Hi, I'm Erin, and today we take a look back at our first farm-to-table dinner on Our Wyoming Life. Early this spring, when there was still snow on the ground and I didn't have much going on, I thought that it would be a fun idea to host a farm-to-table dinner. This is a problem that I always have when the boredom of winter sets in. I plan more work for myself that falls in the summertime, and for some reason I think that I'm going to have the time to get it all done. Last fall, I became aware of what the farm-to-table dinner concept was, and it was something that very much intrigued me. But honestly, I thought that it was something that we could never pull off here on the ranch. And even if we could do it, it would be something that was maybe 2 or 3 years down the road for us. So a farm-to-table dinner is a meal that's prepared on site with ingredients that are sourced from that farm and from other local producers. In the early months of spring, myself and Megan, my co-market manager, were discussing fundraising options for our local Saturday farmers market. We have existing programs in the market that we wanted to expand, and we had some ideas for some new programs that we wanted to launch, but we needed money. So we had applied for a local grant, but unfortunately we did not receive it. So then we started looking at different fundraising ideas for the market. And this idea of a farm-to-table dinner just kept popping up in the back of my mind. As soon as I mentioned it, all of our other fundraising ideas just went out the window. And we went to work on making this dinner happen. A date was set for a Sunday evening at the end of August. Our first big hurdle was that we had to find a caterer who was willing to work with fresh local ingredients. Pizza Corello was my first choice. A few years ago, Pizza Corello started as a food truck with a mobile wood-fired oven. Their pizza was to die for. And from the beginning, their creativity as chefs has always shown through with the products that they produce. So we had our first meeting about farm to table in May. They were 100% on board with us. I left that meeting feeling like we could actually accomplish this farm to table dinner. So now that we had the caterers nailed down, I now had to grow what I said that I could grow. I spent weeks and months not only growing for our local customers at farmers market, but in the back of my mind, I was always making sure that we were on track for what we needed for the dinner, even though it was still months away in the beginning. I spent plenty of nights and days praying that it wouldn't rain or hail and my seed wouldn't get washed away. My kale had to be reseeded due to a poor germination, and it was almost not mature enough to harvest. It barely made it. Onions and some zucchini had to be sourced from another local producer, and there was a few other ingredients on the list too that we needed. But at the end of the day, everything that was served that night was local, and that was the whole goal of the event. We decided that we could sell 65 tickets. 65 seats is what we felt we could fit comfortably in the shop. So we did some low budget advertising. We invited all of our friends and our market customers, and we were able to sell 62 of those tickets. The week of the event, I delivered over 150 pounds of veggies to Pizza Corello, as well as several brisket and pork shoulder roasts that we had raised right here on the ranch. That Sunday morning, my day started with the sun, and weeds still needed to be pulled in the garden. We needed to set up tables and chairs, flowers needed to be arranged, and Mike needed to clean the chicken house before a bunch of people came and looked at it. Friends and neighbors pitched in, and we got the job done. That afternoon, everything came together, and our guests started to arrive. They were greeted by Megan, our market manager, and her husband. And their first taste of local food was delicious and salty kale chips. A glass of Wyoming beer and Wyoming wine was handed out, and the guests made their way to look at the gardens, the high tunnel, and the newly planted orchard. The bottle calves, baby pigs, and chickens were also available for everyone to see. At about 5 o'clock, it was time for the first course. Zucchini roulades with local cheese made from fresh cow milk set the tone, and they were to die for. The next course was a surprise, and it was actually not something that we had planned on when we had made and printed the menu. It was a garden soup and a bread bowl. As Pizzicarello was cooking, they made mad scientists together this amazing creamy soup from all kinds of different veggies that I had brought them. The chef said that it could probably never be recreated again, and it was honestly my favorite thing that I ate all night. It was so good that I even ate the bowl. The main course was meat with a side of meat, with a side of veggies, with a side of slaw. Beer braised brisket and herb-covered pork shoulder roast were the star of the plate. The veggies, though, they weren't going to be overlooked. Roasted in the wood-fired oven, they were caramelized and tender. Root vegetables like beets, golden beets, fennel, onions, potatoes, and carrots were drizzled with a honey thyme glaze that highlighted their natural sweetness. The chokecherry, apple, and pear slaw that was also served with the main course was acidic and very crunchy. It cut through the richness of the brisket and the pork to balance out the plate, and it kept you coming back for another bite over and over again. By the end of the main course, everyone in attendance was full, like ridiculously full. But of course we still had dessert. Rhubarb and chokecherry sorbet finished the meal along with a very tender honey cookie. The sorbet was light and tart, and it was a perfect way for us to finish our dinner. As dessert was being finished, it was time to highlight Our Wyoming Life. Mike and I premiered our new trailer that we had spent the last couple of weeks working on very hard and often very late at night. We were so very proud of it, and it was such an enjoyable experience to get to watch people watching the new trailer. It was received with a round of applause and some oohs and some ahs throughout the video. As the evening wound down and everyone started to leave, Mike and I said our goodbyes to our guests. They all left happy and full. Comments about the food ranged from outstanding to the best meal that they had ever eaten. The gardens were enjoyed and questions were asked and answered. The pigs were petted and they were fed a ton of veggie scraps, and cleanup began and ended. When Mike and I could take a breath again, I think that we were both in amazement that the evening went so well. Nothing went wrong. So after months of worrying, we could finally relax. That is until next year. We've already set a date. The whole evening, though, was a team effort. Mike and I didn't do it on our own. So many thanks are in order to everyone who was involved. Megan, Steve, Hannah, Clay, Sam, and countless others worked to make this evening happen. Our neighbors all pitched in and they helped make the ranch shine. My mom allowed all of this craziness to happen here on the ranch. Pizzicarello's Rachel and Erin, they deserve a standing ovation, as well as all of their staff that worked so hard on creating such a superb meal for us to enjoy. Also, thank you to the guests that came and helped support local food. They helped us raise money for our local farmers market, and our hats are off to our guests. So planning for next year is already happening, and Megan and I have some big ideas. I feel though that we've set the bar really high, and I hope that we can outdo ourselves once again next year. Now we're back to real life. Market season still has 5 more weeks to go. We have a winter market that we're going to launch in November. Winter veggies need planted, and the summer veggies will need finished and cleaned up. Frost will be here before we know it. And I hope that you'll be there for all of us, so make sure you subscribe, and thanks for joining me in Our Wyoming Life.